Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. Thank you for pardoning the slightly late start. I hope you had a beautiful Christmas day, and either way, I'm so glad that you are here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you're watching on the replay, you're going to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. But if you would like to join me live, go ahead and look in that description below. You'll see all the regular days and times that I stream 5 days a week right here on YouTube. You can also go ahead and, while you're down there, check out the links to my online Reiki certification classes, community Discord, crystal shop, and social media. If you are here live, hi, go ahead and click that live chat button. Feel free to make any requests for your personal healing that you might be willing to share in such a big group. And we're going to start off by building a beautiful crystal grid together, built exactly to your specifications and requests. So Merry Christmas to all of you. And yeah, go ahead, keep it flowing into the chat. If you have any questions during or anything like that, go ahead. But before we get into the healing, I will absolutely explain Reiki, what it is, how it works. And yeah, just have a great time. I'm so grateful that you all are here. Let's go ahead and dive on over to to the grid. I kept the heart center of the last grid that we did last night because it just feels really good. So we'll start off there and then we'll keep on building. Awesome. Yay. Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah, the little girls are good. I have a video I'll upload to the Instagram and probably the TikTok later. It's of the girls. I got them a whole bunch of bright, sparkly cat toy balls that they love. I got them like handfuls of them. And I just like sprinkled them over them while they were in the kitchen. They were like, ah! And I made them a couple of jingle balls myself. I crocheted them a couple. So yeah, they're all tuckered out from playtime. So it was a very fun day here. I hope it was wherever you are as well. So let's see what we have in the grid to start. So we have nephrite jade, which is sacred to the people of China as well as people from South America. And here we have the indigenous people of South America. And here we have it for good fortune, luck, prosperity. It's sort of an all-around wonderful stone. There's good reason it's seen as a blessing in every way. Good fortune, happiness, happy life. So we have it at the heart of our grid. We have copper here, which helps break up any energy blockages, get the energy flowing. We have smoky quartz, which transmutes energy, as well as protects against theft. It's very protective energetically, and it helps to optimize the flow of Reiki. We also have citrine, which helps to get the material abundance flowing our way. It also helps to balance logic and intuition. We've also got Peridot. And Peridot is a beautiful stone that helps us to break up any like negative patterns or cycles that we have that we tend to stick to, and also helps us to deepen connection to the people in our lives that help support the positive shifts and changes. So new friendships and old ones. So there we go. So hey, it's good to see you, JS. So let's see, we've got a lot of folks here. So let's say hi. Chris, I see. Gotcha. I think you're listening to this now and you'll be able to watch it later. So Chris, thank you for being here. Welcome in. Kim, Sarah, Cora Carr, Highland Love, welcome back. Key, and Maria, and Erica, good to see you. Oh, this is wonderful. And JS, oh, it's so good to see you all. So let's dive in and start building this grid. Oh, and it's Patty, not Key. Okay. Are you both there or is it just Patty? I'm not sure. So let's see. We have some requests for Chris. Sister, your friend John, low metabolism, breathing, smoking cessation, financial abundance, Kundalini awakening. Cool. So let's dive into these. We've got our usual smoking cessation is Unikite, which is also harmonious for women's health in general. Everything from fertility to menopause, every aspect of women's health, including metabolism, especially if it's connected to the hormones in the body. It's also fantastic for addictions and very much in particular quitting smoking. So we're going to put this in there. You know what? Let's change this up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That seems fun. And we've got, for your friend John who had the stroke recently, blue kyanite, which helps with getting back from a stroke or any kind of brain injury that may be making it difficult in as far as mobility and speech. Particularly, blue kyanite is thought to be helpful. Additionally, blue kyanite helps us to better understand any intuitive messages that we get. You ever get one of those intuitive messages and you're like, I can't quite understand it? Yeah, this can really help with that, as well as really just unconditionally loving yourself, accepting yourself exactly as you are. And let's face it, the holidays definitely bring out a lot of times in our lives when we may not have been accepted exactly as we are. So if you are in that boat, this is a great stone for you. We've also got financial abundance. We have the citrine. We have Amazonite for your sister. And also, we just love this stone. We've been really nerding out on Amazonite for a while now, haven't we, Grace? All right, let's do... Amazonite can be incredible for anybody who has like a caretaker mentality. Those of us whose phones ring when something happens. Those of us who just love taking care of other people and sometimes tend to forget to take care of ourselves. This is the stone for you. This is about having self-respect and seeing that you are worthy, and you are worthy of all of the good that you put out in the world. You are worthy of that coming back to you. That self-care, not even just mani-pedi day, but like making sure that you prioritize yourself in your decisions, in your daily routine, little ways and big ways. Also fantastic for the spine, spinal nerves. So anything from sciatica to the spinal stenosis to anything along those lines. This is thought to be very helpful. It certainly can't hurt. So we'll bring this in. Kundalini Awakening. Definitely have a stone for that. And it is aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. Aragonite is a type of calcite that is superb for lower chakra healing and the physical body. So keeping us grounded to our soul's purpose, helping us feel like we can step forward with purpose and with our intention, bringing it forward and actually making actions that make sense for us. And the Caribbean blue calcite works with the upper chakras, which is connection to all that is collective consciousness and our soul's purpose. And as it balances the upper chakras and the lower chakras, it helps to create a stability that allows Kundalini energy to flow up the spine. Kundalini energy that could be a whole workshop all on its own, and I don't even know that I'm the best person to lead that. But the serpent energy that lays dormant at the base of the spine will actually rise up, and that's really what the energetic anatomy of enlightenment would be. So this is thought to help facilitate that movement. But that energy and having a Kundalini awakening can be incredibly intense. This helps to better optimize the flow, so it's not quite so pop open, pop close, but more like an optimized movement and flow of energy. So it's a lot more healthy. Definitely doesn't shut it down, but it definitely helps to, if you have the inkling to want to work with it, that's a great stone. We've also got Peridot already, iolite, which we use this in almost every grid because it just does the perfect things for us. It helps with visionary experiences during meditation or spiritual work like psychopomp work or shamanic journeying. It's helpful for any kind of sleep disturbance, especially if that sleep disturbance is rooted in unbalanced energy. Kind of like if you were meditating all day and then you have trouble sleeping at night, that can be being a little bit ungrounded. This helps to kind of quell that a little bit. Also great for things like fever and weight loss if that's your intention. So we're going to bring this in. Aqua Aura, a lot of us have really been loving this, especially this year. It just feels even darker than normal. Aqua Aura is clear quartz that's been put through a process using gold, and it gives it this blue color. Aqua Aura has helped a lot of us with seasonal affective disorder and depression to kind of keep those symptoms at bay. It's like anything here. Whatever it is we're addressing here, we know that crystals are here to help, and it doesn't replace anything else, but it's definitely been in the helper category for a lot of us. So let's bring that in. We also have blue sapphire, Herkimer. So blue sapphire is a very intense stone of opening up your intuition, especially if you're going to do any kind of mediumship, or if you are going to try to translate your experience to describe it to someone else. Like if you're reading tarot for someone, for example, this can really help with that. In that it can be a very ungrounding stone. So if you don't have a practice of grounding your energy, start to work with that, and or use some really grounding stones when you're working with it. But yeah, a wonderful, wonderful stone for intuitive energy work. So we'll put that near the blue kyanite because there's a lot of intuitive energy in both. We also have, we're looking for Herkimer, and we have Herkimer actually is wonderful for balancing the energy of a space, especially when you have a lot of different people together, like Hello Holidays. This can be one that kind of harmonizes a lot of discordant energy. It's also great for relaxing and being in the present moment. It's like never a bad day for that ever, is it? It can also help with metabolism and opening up your intuitive ability, as well as when we're manifesting and asking the universe for something. This helps you to work with the universe to kind of hone what you're asking for, and not saying it just needs to be exactly like this. This opens things up to be, I want it to be the most spiritually well-developed version of that. I want this to positively impact all the people, places, and things that this manifestation will touch. This is, I want to find not just these professionals who do these things, but the ones that I am in the most spiritual balance to work with, and that are in the most spiritual balance to work with me. So it's a very spiritual stone. Put that there. And we have hematite, which has a high concentration of iron. So heavy a concentration of iron, actually, that you can magnetize it. But yeah, that's why it was called hematite. It looks like it's got blood in it from the rust from the iron. This is deeply, deeply grounding. It helps us to feel connected with the earth. This would be one of the good ones you could use alongside, say, sapphire if you're doing some intuitive work. It helps us to sit with our root chakra and feel heavy and connected to our earth energy, our basic needs, our primal urges, fight or flight, earth energy, letting go of the energy that no longer serves us, fear and safety, all those kinds of things. So this can be very, very helpful when we're doing any kind of intuitive work or any time that you're releasing a lot. Let's do this. got, let me see everybody down here. Hey, Jennifer, Susan, good to see you both. Sue Ann, it's wonderful to see you. And Hart. Oh, it's the last night of Hanukkah. I thought it ended in like 2 more days. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is the last night of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. I'm glad that you're here, Hart. Welcome in, everybody. Hope I didn't miss anybody. No, I don't think I did. Awesome. Okay, cool. Keep the good vibes flowing. So let's see, what else were we looking for? Rutilated quartz for sure. And so here's rutilated quartz. We've been using this quite a bit too. We go in like cycles with this because rutilated quartz can be very, very helpful when it comes to keeping our energy up, whether you're trying to keep from getting sick or just keep from getting run down, or if you're trying to get your energy back after having been sick. This is a superb stone. If someone has cancer, and especially if they're currently undergoing treatment, this has long thought to have the intention to like direct the healing wherever it exactly needs to go. So for example, if you were to go to like old school jewelers, like on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia, for example, and you're like, I'm buying a gift for someone who has cancer, what do you recommend? It's very likely they'll recommend rutilated quartz, because the thought has been, the intention with this stone is to direct the medications, the chemo, etc., to go exactly where it needs to go to do the best good. So like the true complement of complementary medicine, like, you know, can't hurt and it might help. But I feel like this is definitely one that helps give focus and clarity to the mind, especially the mind-body connection, and absolutely helpful for you no matter what you're going through, whether you're getting over the flu or something much, much bigger. It does help maintain that mind-body connection, and it does help kind of focus the healing energy right where it needs to go. So it's like an evergreen stone. We also have, let's see, so glad that you made some requests. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. Yes, Blessed Solstice too. Rose quartz, selenite, amethyst, labradorite, blue calcite, green calcite. I love that. I love that like selection too. So let's bring in the rose quartz and the amethyst first. Nope, that's clear quartz. So this is rose quartz. It's pure unconditional love, and I've said this the last couple days, but I feel like this is because there's so many aspects of these stones, but the one that keeps coming through the last few days is that it's very consistent and strong with this heart-centered energy. So anytime that we're breaking up patterns within ourselves and doing that shadow work, anytime that we are hurting, anytime that we are healing, it becomes really hard to let go of energy when we're in the back of our mind thinking, well, I don't want something worse to show up. This is a stone that is just there in the background consistently, so that it feels a lot easier to just let go of what's not serving any longer, because you have this to invite in its place. And I feel like it can be very helpful in that way. Let's put you there. You here. Amethyst is a stone of self-improvement, but in not so much deep shadow work as in I'm going to look at all of the deepest, darkest nooks and crannies of myself. More like I'm going to take a couple of bites at what I can handle right now. It's a very measured and practical and spiritual way to start to work on yourself, especially if you've already kind of seen what you want to work on. It's also one that has us focus on what we can control and what our responsibilities are, allowing other people to take care of their opportunities or not take care of them, but we're not going to hold on to them for them. So in that regard, this is very popular in recovery, like 12-step and drug rehab and things like that. So especially if you're struggling with any kind of compulsion, addiction type stuff during the holidays, I hope that this is something that can be helpful for you. It's just a beautiful stone all around. It helps us to bring a little bit of lightness to our lives so that we can see, okay, well, yes, this is me and I need to work on that, but I'm also going to take pride in what I've done. And I'm going to be okay with, I'm on my way. I'm a work in progress, getting better. So I feel like it can be a really helpful stone there. We've also got labradorite. I'm actually going to bring in this labradorite. Oh, that's pretty. So this was a gift from a student. So labradorite is a stone that helps us to, it helps the mind to focus. It's very connected with clairvoyance. It's connected with our ability to see the details in things and kind of see the patterns in things also. In that regard, this is thought to be a really helpful study stone, or if you work with any like large amounts of data, like a data scientist or something, this can be really helpful in that regard. It's also helpful for improving sleep. So it goes right along with iolite in that regard. So yeah, so many things about this. Bringing in labradorite. And we've got selenite and blue and green calcite. I always have a little bit of selenite just out of frame. And selenite helps to reflect nothing but pure white light. So I actually use it to help clear the crystals afterwards. I take the crystals that have been on the grid and I either like put the selenite on the grid, or I just sort of like take the crystals off and let them sit near the selenite for a while before I put them away. So I absolutely love working with it. I have a whole bunch on the shelves behind me. You might be able to see it on the top shelf there. But yeah, selenite is a wonderful way to help keep the energy of a space clear. So let's put this for here for now. We'll see where it ends up. And we had blue and green calcite. Green calcite we use here fairly often. It's exceptional for stress, anxiety, for calming. It also helps to release the physical tension in our body that builds up when we're stressed out or when we're anxious, so that all of that kind of tenseness and terseness, we can kind of help let it relax. But it also is great for just the physical heart too, but also like a little bit of lightness, laughing at our own expense when we need to, kind of like breaking the tension internally. So let's put this here. And for blue calcite, I often work with blue calcite as almost like another emotional stuff hits the fan. This is very emotionally stabilizing. When you feel like everything is just tossed up in the air and you don't know how to make heads or tails of it, or you're having a difficult time regulating your emotions, this can be super, super helpful with that stability. It helps to soothe the heart and the throat. It allows us to it helps us to really like communicate what our needs are and say, I need help, even if we can't articulate much more than that, or even if we don't know what the help would look like. This allows us to ask for that rather than act out, in a sense. So this can be deeply, deeply stabilizing and definitely allows us a little bit more ease when we need to ask for support. Even if we can't be graceful about how we're asking for support, it can be helpful with allowing us to ask in the first place. And I love them together. It helps to like calm, chill out, and then ask for help when you need it and really start to stabilize the emotions. Love them together. And thank you so much for being here. I hope that this helps. And Yeah, selenite too. If you do any kind of energy work and you feel like you need to clear your aura, if you're very sensitive or empathic, you can even take selenite like this and kind of like comb your aura. So like bringing it around your aura. Your aura is your energy field around your body. So you can use something like that to help clear. And we've got Barefoot Bella. Hello. Balance, you got it. Regulating circadian rhythms. Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to cough into the microphone. Anj! Oh, it's so good to see you. Yeah, absolutely. Well said. The last 2+ years have been extremely testing for mankind. Yeah. Yep. You're not kidding. Absolutely. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. Okay, so let me keep working through. We have for Korakar, we have Chrysoprase, Peridot. We have Peridot already. Opal, Moss Agate, Garnet Moonstone. Let's start with Moonstone and Garnet. Moonstone is a stone that can help us talk about connecting with circadian rhythms. It's also connecting with the rhythms of Earth. Moonstone is, as you would think, connected with the moon. So the lunar cycles for sure. But the moon controls the tides. So that's the water. We are mostly made of water. So it's not a surprise that the moon has an impact on us. It's also connection to the divine feminine, very protective of people traveling, and I know a lot of you probably are this weekend. Also releasing patterns and help with finding our soulmate or a soul-based relationship as well. So anything having to do with the divine feminine, protection of women, and connection to ancient wisdom. So we'll bring this in. Yeah, I think that works even better. A very intuitive little section here. And we've got Garnet helps with everything that you would equate with Capricorns. This is, especially if you're starting a project or trying to launch a new phase of it, or a new burst of motivation comes through. Now, what do you do with it? Garnet helps with organizing and getting the courage and the organization to get things together and move forward. This is a stone that helps us to find balance and strength in times of stress. And I did see the request for balance. This is a deeply balancing stone. We have a lot of uses for a stone like this. It could be just evening your work day. It's a very executive function type stone. And also with practicality, getting things done in an efficient way. So this can be really helpful, making the most of your time. And we're going to go ahead and place these here. It is also the stone of January, the birthstone, which is super fun. It's a very Capricorn stone. Having red and white coral. White coral helps with keeping us on our spiritual path. It gives us a boost of confidence and self-assuredness, so we can keep on moving in that direction and not get pulled aside or thrown off course, but trusting that we know what we need to do, listening to our intuition, and giving us the trust to trust our intuition. And red coral is the stone of really women's empowerment. This is a stone that helps protect women against misogyny in all of its forms and all the ways that it shows up, particularly in a workplace. This is a stone that can help with any time a woman has been discredited, relegated, like shoved off to the side. This can help her voice be taken seriously, help her voice, help kind of break up the old boys club, keep others out sort of glass ceiling, I've heard it called. It really does protect women from being pushed aside for the sake of men, just only for the sake of men. So very protective. This is a good one to have if you work in a very male-dominated environment, or one where even if it's not dominated by men, it certainly feels that way. It can be a great stone. We also have flower agate and chrysoprase and opal. Flower agate, opal, chrysoprase. So chrysoprase helps us to overcome disappointment and setbacks. It can help us to keep going even though we feel like, wow, I'm never going to get to the end, or why did I even try this? This is a stone that helps us to kind of take some perspective and see that it wasn't just about getting to the end point, and it's not all about getting to the end point. It has more to do with how we've grown along the way, that we can pivot if we need to, even though there's been a setback. It also helps us to take, the best way I can describe it is it helps us take heart in all of the effort we've put forward towards an end goal. When a goal feels so far away that it's like, why did I even start on this journey? This can remind you that you are much farther along than when you started. You've made a lot of progress, and you'll get there. So this keeps burnout at bay. It helps to encourage you when you feel like you're getting a little run down and a little bit burnt out. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this here. This was a good one, especially around 2020 when like everybody's lives changed. This is one that I definitely worked with. Oh, I'm missing a blue calcite or blue celestite. No, blue calcite. Yeah, this was a good one during 2020 when a lot of us had to put our dreams on hold or close things up or pack things in. And it's like a big setback. I closed my physical studio in 2020, and I found this to be a good stone to remind me, like, you're not starting all over by any means. Like, you're fine. It's just a physical structure. And after working with it, when I did go in to clean out what was left of the studio and put things in storage, I was like, yeah, I'm over it. I just emptied the place out in like 8 hours and was like fine with it, because I gave me the perspective to see it as just a building and not something that I had to put all my, like, that had anything to do with me necessarily. So yeah, it was really helpful for perspective in that. And here we go. There we go. That's better. We've also got flower agate, which is flower blossom agate, reminds us to see how we are blooming, to see that, yeah, we might not be in full bloom, but we are coming to that point and starting to see ourselves as ready to burst forward. And, you know, you're close, you're just doing the work, you're almost there. And then also taking pride as you do kind of come on the scene and say, I have accomplished this. So flower blossom agate. For right now, I'm going to put that here, but we'll see where we end up placing it. It'll probably end up being in the center of the grid, but we'll see. Well, let me put it there for now. There we go. There we go. Okay. We've also got moss agate, which helps to, well, I think we had a conversation about this, how we all work with it differently. I work with it in the very physical sense of things in the body, like invaders, like fungal infections, bacterial infections, viruses. That's how it's usually seen on the physical side. On the emotional side, it can also kind of help, like I always feel like it could help the beliefs and things that have kind of almost infested us, and trying to like root out those beliefs that are no longer helpful. So that could be helpful, but also let me know if you use it for anything else. And where shall we place you? Let's go ahead and sprinkle some in the center. No, I'm going to do this here. I love these little moss agates. Pardon my arm. There we go. Okay. And I think there's one more that you had requested. Opal. Yeah, so opal, very metaphysical, deeply spiritual, very shamanic stone. This is a stone held sacred by the shamans for when they're doing psychopomp work or working in the spirit realms to help keep them more or less cloaked so that they're not attracting attention from not great things. So it is very highly protective, and it allows one to do deeper spiritual work. It's also very linked with like the veil between the living and the dead, and it allows folks to kind of do that internal and external work, the spirit realm and physical world work, and walk between the two with a lot more protection and a lot more balance. And I think we are good there. Awesome, thank you. And we have a couple other requests for you too, but let me see. Hey Prudence, it's good to see you. Oh, Barefoot Bella, you're so welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is like the best group of people ever. Seriously, it's like lightning in a bottle in here. Every day I'm in here with all of you, it just feels like such a blessing, because it is. Maria, healing intentions are healthy, happy family, connection to the divine guidance, serenity, commitment, and taking action. I love all those. So happy, healthy family. The first thing that came to mind was tourmalinated quartz. I'm going to bring that in. But also happy, healthy family, the rutilated quartz. Yeah. So tourmalinated quartz is clear quartz that has black tourmaline streaks running through it. In addition to things like rutilated quartz, which helps kind of keep our body vital energy moving so that we can be healthy as we can on all levels, tourmalinated quartz helps to break things up, especially things that have to do with the heart or cardiac system. It's protective of those who are traveling, so anybody who's traveling for the holidays, absolutely this. It's also helpful for just breaking up patterns in general, emotional patterns, mental patterns, where we keep doing the same things over and over again, even though we don't realize we're doing that. This can be helpful for that too. It can help with just moving things through the body, energy through the body that we don't quite need anymore. So I feel like for now, at least, I want to put this here. And we'll see what we do. Sidra Australia, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Welcome in. We're glad to have you. We've also got Serenity, definitely being serene, Amethyst, and Herkimer. Herkimer for Serenity, being in the present moment, just taking the moment as it is so helpful. That's like, to me, Serenity kind of boils down to Herkimer Diamond. We've also got Divine Guidance. I would say the blue kyanite, the sapphire, the Herkimer Diamond. But I'm also going to bring in, I feel like I know what needs to come in. Celestite, which came in the other day. Celestite it deeply connects us, and this is just intuitive to bring this out for you. Celestite is one that connects us to our angels and our divine guidance in that way. If it were in the ground longer under more pressure, it would eventually turn into angelite. But this is all matters. It also helps all matters of physical pain too. So just putting that out there. But connects to our higher wisdom, separating divine guidance from fear and being able to identify which is which. So anytime that we're like, where is that fear coming from? Is that intuition? Or is that like my root chakra is unbalanced? Or is that just like anxiety? Or is that something triggering me that I need to look at? This helps you kind of parse that out. And so you can better hear the guidance of your angels and connect with them at any level. So definitely this and blue kyanite together can really help with understanding that stuff. So let's do this, and this. Absolutely love this stone. This is actually you guys have seen all the white coral that my grandmother and I picked up off the beach in Florida after a storm. But this is one that I picked up at a rock shop that my grandparents took me to. I went to visit my grandparents in Florida, and they're like, aren't you going to do all the vacation things? I'm like, no, I'm here to see you. So they took me to a rock shop. I was like, yes. And this is a huge piece of celestite. Celestite is not very strong, so you won't find a lot of big pieces of it. And when you do, it's usually like tumbled. But a lot of times, like seeing them, they formed this way and then they kind of crumble open. I absolutely love it. So this is like a big celestite egg. It's not an expensive stone, but it's super lovely and healing and helpful. It feels so nice. So we've got commitment and taking action. Definitely garnet. Connection with the divine, we've got that. Also moonstone to help with that. Thank you so much for being here, Maria. I hope that helps. Oh, thank you. I'm absolutely happy to be here too. Healing for loss. Oh, I'm so sorry that you lost your dog. Chevron Amethyst, you got it. Yeah, let's do some. Definitely for loss. Let me see. We have jet. Jet helps. It's a fossilized wood that fossilized very quickly, usually through volcanic activity, but where regular petrified wood would take a long time for the tree to die and then slowly transform into stone. This is wood that had to do that in a flash. So it helps us with that grief, that sudden shift, and then that emptiness and just what is now. It's sort of like looking around after a forest fire or after a volcano. It's like, what do we even make of this now? This is a stone that allows us to go deep and be present with our grief and not overwhelmed by it or just sort of numb to it, so that we can actually be with it, with what we're feeling and all that's coming up. And it can allow us to kind of process that in a more full way and also slightly more comfortable way. So yeah, so we've got that there. So I hope that that helps. And I also put that out because this is also helpful for attracting lost pets. So I know that's been a thing for Patty and Key. Finding love, losing weight, moving on from the past. Finding love is moonstone. We've got losing weight is actually iolite. Moonstone and garnet are your faves. Awesome. Clear karmic debt, that's always a good one. Thank you. moving on from the past. Jet can help with that quite a bit. Moving on, definitely Mookaite. This can help us accept change so that we can let go and move on. It also goes by Australia Jasper, and this is definitely decisions too. If you feel stuck in making decisions, especially if you're just like, I can't let go, making this decision means I have to let go of something else. It's also good for calming the digestion. It's thought to be helpful for the immune system too. So I'm going to bring this in. We've also got, and thank you for being here, Prudence. I don't have oakenite. I've actually not heard of that before. I'm interested to look it up now. We've also got releasing the energy of others, absolutely. Gotcha. So literary agent and buyers, we've got Herkimer Diamond, boundaries, effective communication, and family issues. The stone that came, because there's so many stones we can use for effective communication, but blue tigerite came up, so I'm going to put that in. But also carnelian, another stone that helps with attracting spiritually significant relationships too, which is a few of you had thrown in there. But this is great for any kind of relationship stuff, whether it's romantic relationships or family or coworkers or colleagues or any of it. It's helpful for fertility also, but any kind of interpersonal stuff. It's very much this, and the yellowy orangey stones are good for boundaries. Sacral chakra is how we relate to others. Solar plexus is the center of self-identity, your wishes and desires, and you moving forward as you. So between those two is usually where boundaries would be. And so this helps with interpersonal boundaries within like a group. So this can be helpful for family stuff. And even like roommate stuff too. But there's also, there is also blue tiger eye, which is, you know what? Actually not, well, I'm going to do blue tiger eye, but I might also do dumortierite. Helps with standing up for yourself. It also helps with pent-up anger, which, I mean, if people are stepping all over your boundaries, of course, you have a right to be angry about that. So it can help to diffuse it and direct it. So like using that energy to find a good way to move forward rather than it just being volatile energy that you're trying not to force your hand to do something that you don't want to do, or act in a way you don't want to act, or say something you don't want to say. This is also one for patience and like, when is it a bad day for that? And it also helps even ligaments and tendons and like connective type tissues. So we'll bring that in for standing up for yourself. I'm going to put this here for now. Yeah, for now I'll put these here. There's also blue tiger eye, helps with calming and bringing in ease, especially where there's stress. So it definitely is helpful along the lines of blue calcite in that. But this also helps with facts over feelings. Facts over feelings, conveying the truth and standing firm, saying, this is what is. This is the non-negotiables. You know, there are times where things are fungible, and there are times when things are not. This is for the times when it is not, especially when you have to say things that people don't want to hear. And having to be like almost like the don't shoot the messenger, but sometimes like, okay, I'm going to say this. You're not going to want to hear it, but this is the way it is. And no, it's not changing. It's still what it is. Like I said, facts over feelings. So this is blue tiger eye. Definitely protects the messenger. It protects truth tellers. If you're going to have a stone for whistleblowers, this would be it. But also when you have to say things that are inconvenient or not what people want to hear, whatever it might be. I have a friend that does home inspections, and he's like, I'm going to have to tell somebody something that they don't want to hear. They're going to be pushing back. And I'm like, blue tiger eye, my friend, blue tiger eye. So I hope that helps. Spiritual guidance, we have those there too. Spirit guidance is definitely good and represented. I'm glad that we're listening to spirit right now, all of us, because we need it. But all the best to you and your family. Thank you for being here, Susan. We've got, Key is with his fiance visiting family. Lovely. Find direction in life and in your days, finding the joy in that instead of fear and worries. Definitely. So letting go of fear and worries. We have a good couple of stones for that. Letting go of fear and knowing when it's fear and when it's intuition. Celestite. Letting go of that energy. Also green calcite. Finding joy in the day. Let's bring in some of the beautiful yellow calcite that just keeps making its appearances. Definitely a stone of joy, standing up for yourself in a joyous way. Like there's times when we have to stand up and be firm, and there's times where we can just stand out and say, this is me, and find joy in who we are. This is the stone of the ladder. So I'm going to bring that in. I feel like this also helps with a lot of Patty's requests. So I'm going to bring this in. This is here. I'm so confused. There we go. Okay. And Unikite, Iolite we have, Emerald, Hematite we have, Blue Sapphire we have, Garnet we have, Dalmatian Jasper will also help with Heart's request for releasing the energy of others. So Dalmatian Jasper has black tourmaline running through it, just like tourmalinated quartz. And this helps to clear the energy of our auric field. It's a stone that can consistently work over time, and it's not quite as whoosh strong in your face as like straight up black tourmaline can be. This kind of softens it a bit, so it's like a consistent energy of just keeping things clear and keeping things clear. Just like I did the thing with the selenite, this is one that you can carry around with you that slowly does that kind of thing over time. This is also one that it brings about a certain intention for clarity and clearing your personal energy field, that you're taking responsibility for your energy field by not taking responsibility for other people's crap and refusing it. And it can be really lovely that way. So we'll bring this in for sure. And we'll bring in Emerald. Yeah, cool. So let's put this in there. So that helps keep the energy of others at bay and clear it out of our energy field when it's there. And also sometimes, like I've said before, sometimes the call is coming from in the house. Sometimes we're the ones letting go of the bad energy, and that's fine. We just need to like let go of it, and it might not be the easiest. This can help. So there we go. And we have a very potent heart healer in Emerald. This is raw emerald. When I say a potent heart healer, I mean the heart center. So unconditional love, knowing that we deserve it. Also compassion for others, receiving compassion from others, and showing ourselves compassion, which everybody has trouble with at least one of the three. And this is also one that helps to heal skin and tissue. So muscle, skin, things like that. So if you've recently had surgery, or if you have like some injuries like cuts, scrapes, things like that, this can be very, very helpful. So we're going to bring this in. I love emerald. And I just heard my cat snore, which was so cute. Thank you for being here, Kim. Okay. And Patty, red tiger eye, lapis. Oh, I'm so glad that it helped. And we have amazonite, garnet and jade. A lot of requests for garnet lately. I'm all about it. We are in Capricorn season. Mahogany jasper, or mahogany obsidian. Oh, and we had a request for Chevron amethyst, and I just saw it, so I'm going to bring that in. Chevron amethyst helps connect our wishes and intentions to spirit, and then helps us receive those messages back from spirit, kind of like, this is what I want, universe, and universe is like, it's right to your left, or ask for something slightly better. And it can help give us that guidance back and forth. It's also fantastic for anything seriously intuitive. So journey work, visionary work, similar to Iolite in those ways, but very, very powerful. So that's one that can help with psychopomp work for Korakar. Definitely. And we also have, so we already had amazonite. We're going to bring in some lapis, which helps to invite in integrity and people who have integrity when they act and follow through, and that we have integrity when we act and follow through. So being open and honest in our communications. It also helps with any kind of pain and inflammation, regardless of where it might be in the body, as well as aiding disorganization. So this can be really helpful for anybody that's trying to get organized. And I feel like everyone does a deep clean of the house after Christmas, right? There we go. And you had mahogany and red tiger eye. Red tiger eye is intensely protective, whether it's like backbiting, infighting, like cattiness, to toxic work environments, toxic family stuff, to malevolent spiritual work, and everything in between. Highly, highly protective, beautiful to look at, and also is fantastic for calling on energy, especially, or calling on finances, especially in a pinch. Like, oh, I really need money to like make this bill or do that thing. This one. And mahogany obsidian, this one helps us whenever we're dealing with like the concept of perfectionism is like getting in our way. It's like, no, it's not good enough. It has to be perfect before I can do it. This is one that reminds us like a slightly imperfect something is better than a perfect nothing, or a concept of perfection. Also, for anybody who internalizes not being good enough and that we have to like prove ourselves, and that as long as we get it done perfect will like be validated. And especially like those of us who lived through that in childhood and then like that comes up as a pattern in adulthood, this helps remind us that like our output is not our worth and not our value assessment. So this is one that definitely allows us to let go of a lot of that. Think I got everybody? Did I get everyone? I think we did. You lit a candle. Oh, karmic debt. Gotcha. Protecting from incompetence has grown in this nation to terrifying degrees. Right? Oh, the mahogany one, mahogany obsidian. So obsidian of all kinds is a natural glass, usually volcanic. And yeah, so mahogany obsidian. I have some in my crystal shop, but it is raw. Like, it's not tumbled like those. It looks like this. But it's a pretty easy one to find overall. Gotcha. Protection from incompetence. What can we use? And can we just like wear suits of it? 'Cause my God, right? Protection from incompetence. I might have to research that. But let's see for now. Protection from incompetence. Sometimes incompetence is pettiness. Like sometimes it's just sort of like, I just don't care. Like, oh, he like, you know, I feel like I'm being put upon, so I'm just going to ruin everyone else's day by just not caring. So that sometimes is a part of it. So aquamarine can help with that. I might have to really do some research on one that specifically protects from incompetence. And I want to now, because if there is one, I want to wear it all the time. So yeah, that's aquamarine. Yeah, it is like everyone I'm running into. It is nuts. It is absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I will think about that and I will do some work on it because my goodness. I will do some more research on that. But yeah, like that's a good protective stone. It can't be a bad thing to have more black tourmaline though. So let's use that for now. And I feel like we are, oh, and karmic debt. The thing that comes to mind most for things like karmic debt and working off karma and the cycles of karma would be like soul star oriented stones. So that would be the blue Caribbean calcite. It would be sapphire to some extent if you're doing that intentionally. Celestite for sure. Yeah, I'm thinking of a good one for karmic debt. And I think I might research that a little bit more, like what I would use. I would probably say Chevron Amethyst too, because it's one that we can send up an offering and we can get guidance and wisdom on how best to act in accordance with that. And this is a very high vibrational stone. It's like very soul star kind of oriented. So I would say this would be the one that I would probably work with to kind of say to the universe, like, I want to break up any kind of karmic debt, any negative karma I've put out there. I want to work towards ameliorating that and righting any wrongs. This is one that's going to give you guidance on that. So I would say this one. It's also really strong for intuition and connection to spirit and divine forces, as well as moonstone, divine balance, and things in their correct timing. So that might help to recalibrate things. So yeah, I really love that intention. I really do. And I think that that's the stone that I would use. But I'll keep an eye on it as I do my crystal reading. I've been geeking out over this new book that I've had for a while, but I haven't looked at it. And it was written in 1913, and it cites books written in like the 1500s. So I'm going to do some deep diving for us. But with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the healing, because it's like 9:15. So usually we do, like, I suggest a couple of stones and then we vote. But because we don't have a ton of time, let's go ahead and I'm going to have you all have done an amazing job of already saying all the things that you're grateful for. But if you want to share any others, that always helps prepare the energy of the space to like lift up the energy. And it's the quickest way to lift the energy of a space. You don't need to burn anything. Just think of what you're grateful for, and it will start to shift things quickly. I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is all about, and then we're going to get into the healing. So you can also use this opportunity to get yourself ready to get nice and cozy. Grab that blanket, whatever you need, and I will be right back. So as I mentioned at the top of the stream, my name is Danielle Stimpson. I am the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and I've been teaching Usui Reiki for about 14 years. The style of Reiki that I work with, Usui Reiki, is founded by a gentleman named Mikao Usui, who created this particular method and style in the early 1920s in Japan. Although this is far from the only way of working with this energy. This is one way of many. And while Usui had many influences, from esoteric Buddhism to Taoism, Confucianism, a predecessor to Aikido, so very spiritually based martial arts, and many other things too, being Japanese, just being in that culture, that also kind of flavored his understanding of energy and his feelings and how the universe worked. The very foundation of Usui Reiki would be very much what we see in Shintoism, which is the indigenous spirituality of Japan, in which everything is interconnected. Everything, everyone. And within that, everyone and everything has a soul, but yet we are all interconnected. Within that interconnectedness, there are forces at play that are outside of all of us, yet flowing through all of us. One of which being the spiritually guided soul energy, which is how Reiki roughly translates. So this energy is already working with your body, your mind, your spirit to help bring you the ultimate wellness and balance that's possible for you to achieve right now. And we are made of it. We don't normally think about it. In our culture, we don't even acknowledge it. We don't really even mostly agree it exists. Doesn't mean it's not there. We are mostly made of water, even though we don't really think of it that way. And it's critically important for us to have water just to even survive or do our basic functions. And yet when we drink water, as we do often, we don't have to think about where and how the water gets used to get all those things done. In fact, we can't control it consciously. Very much the same with Reiki. It's flowing in all the time. We can set intentions and ask for it to focus on certain things. That really is informing our body how best to work with it. Our body, mind, and spirit are already working with this energy. Essentially, what I'll be doing is connecting to this force and directing more of it to you. Your body, mind, and spirit will then bring it into the best use for you in this moment, taking your intentions into account. You can set an intention anytime you want. So you can just lay down at any point during your session and go, oh, here's something I just thought of. Just bring it to mind and let it go. And the universe will hear it and will address that too. Speaking of, during the session, you may feel some physical sensations, some emotional shifts. You may feel emotions moving or coming up or letting go. You may notice that your conscious mind is your mental space is sort of clearing. You may get some clarity, some some of your subconscious might have something to share with you. You may also get some intuitive divine wisdom from spirit. Whatever it happens to be, it's beautiful and perfect. It's probably some combination, all of their involved. And also, you may just fall asleep and have a really incredible nap. That happens a lot. During the session, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to focus on anything. You don't need to keep your mind silent or do anything like that. You can if you want to, but ultimately I suggest relax. And if your mind starts to just sort of ramble, notice it, see if there's anything fruitful. And if you're not sure if it's helpful or if it's just sort of brain ramblings, take a deep breath in and out, and you'll be able to kind of come back to yourself and let it go. At the end of the 25-minute session, I will then let you know that the session is coming to a close by inviting you to take a deep breath, come back to your body, and then come back to the chat with any questions or anything that you might have or anything that you want to share. During the session, I will bring some music up. If you like the music, I am partial to it. The creator of that music is listed in the description below, and I will have the lights gently cycling through many different colors to kind of set a nice mood, but at no point will they flash or a strobe, so you are good there. And also, yeah, that sounds about good. So can I think of anything else? No, just relax and be, and thank you for being here. Know that because we're all interconnected, this energy will land with you no matter where you are in relation to me, miles or kilometers away, and no matter when you are. So if you're watching this in the future, hello from the past, you're going to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. Of course, if you would like to join me live, all the days and times that I regularly stream here on YouTube are listed below. If you want to ever, for those of you who are here live, you can also always go back to the past live streams and just watch any live stream that you want. You can sit through the hanging out and talking about crystals, or you can skip ahead to where you see the lights begin to shift and enjoy just the sending of Reiki, whatever feels best to you in that day. So thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to have you all here. And again, if you want to learn more about my online Reiki certification classes that are 100% live and small class sizes, they are linked in the description below, as is my crystal shop, social media, and community Discord. So thank you for being here. Like the stream if you don't mind, and let's get into the healing. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Awesome. Thank you all so much. The outpouring of love from all of you are just incredible. I really, really do love it. And anybody who's struggling through the holidays, it can be a thing. Oof, can it be? I'm here with you. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that I could make it better in some small way. And I'm sending you an abundance of love and gratitude and hope that things get better. So everybody go ahead, get comfy, chill out, lay down, sit up, do a little yoga if you feel like you need to move, journal if you feel like you need to, or just saw some wood. It's all good. I will see you all in 25 minutes, and thanks again for being here. I invite you to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly come back to your body. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to share this healing with you today. And if you have any questions or anything to share, go ahead and pop it in the chat. Samantha and W, welcome in. So good to see you both. Patty, thank you for being my welcoming community. I appreciate that. You're so welcome, Maria. Two very sleepy kittens. Some purrs from little Hattie. You all are so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, and you want to come up too? Somebody was Jelly Belly. Hi. Nope, no cat butts on the camera. You turn this way. Thank you. You're so welcome, all of you. You're welcome, Kim, Chris, Hart. Thank you, Susan, and Merry Christmas, everyone. You're welcome, W. Yep, it's purring and grooming time. Let's see if I can. I hope all of you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your holiday. Thank you so much for being here. This was a beautiful way to spend my Christmas as well. I will be back on Tuesday, and I'm going to be putting up a poll as a post. So definitely check in with YouTube on your phone if you want to vote. I'm going to ask for some guidance on when to schedule the New Year's Eve stream so that you all can enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here with a heart full of gratitude for all of you. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly love it. We're a little channel that could. We're just about 500 subscribers. At 1,000 subscribers, we can do things like having more community options, having things like super chats and all of that. It's never expected, but if you do want to make any kind of contribution, there's info in the chat. But frankly, just being here is a huge contribution. And especially like the longer you stream, the more it helps. Liking the stream helps, subscribing helps tremendously. But yeah, really just being here and hanging out. Oh, big stretch is the most important thing. Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. Oh, I love you too, little bun bun. So I'm gonna keep the gonna get the kitties settled for the night, and I'll end the stream here. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day, evening, holiday, wherever you happen to be, and I'll see you again soon, and bye for now.